Welcome to my channel. Today I'm doing something new. Figured, hey, why don't I record some of the stuff I do after I did it? The one thing it was went to Goodwill, and I found a hedge trimmer. And there's a risk whenever you buy products that everybody knows that have been used and thrown away. But depending on which Goodwill you go to, you could find pretty good products. And even if they're broken, sometimes you can fix it. And hopefully we can show you something you might want to do. You don't have to do, but something that I think would be good to try if you're interested, or people that are attempting it right now. You're trying to solve a problem. So one problem is people get rid of devices, like hedge trimmers or anything with a lithium battery. And some of the things you need to understand with lithium batteries is that they can go bad over time for a variety of reasons. I'm still learning, but if you have a battery that dies out, it's usually because, it went below the threshold of, you could Google it. Okay, Google, what's the threshold of a lithium battery whenever it is below the threshold and it'll be turned off and not usable?
If a battery drops below this threshold, it is considered over discharge. While some devices might cut off power slightly higher to preserve battery life, going below these limits can cause irreversible chemical damage to the internal structure of the cell. If a battery is left in an over discharge state for an extended period, it may become permanently unusable or create safety hazards.
Yeah. All right, so what I found was a hedge trimmer that when I tested the battery on the charger at Goodwill, it showed that it wasn't charging at all. And I tested it, squeezed it, and I was like, well, it's probably a lithium battery. Let's take it home, take it apart. Never done it before, but I understand the theory of it and see if we can break it or make it work. So let's, with that, let's take a look. So you can see there are 4 screws. This is an older model. They discontinued a WA3524.1, but you can see on each 4 little star screws. Okay, so this is your 24-volt battery pack. It goes into a WORX hedge trimmer WA35 24.1 charger. So it's 24 volt, and they discontinued these from research. They discontinued these models, which is probably why they got rid of it. Just wasn't charging. And whoever it was said, no, I'm not going to be messing with lithium batteries, because lithium batteries, they blow up on airplanes, or if you dent them, or if you hit them real hard, they could start a fire as well. You have to watch for the brand name to be safe, but some companies, if you buy older equipment or cheaper stuff, they use cheap batteries or cheap products. So if you buy something that has somewhat of a name that other companies are selling, then yeah, this is a good direction. So let's open it up. As you can see, this popped off. It goes right back in. That's your little button, and this pops right back in. Boop. Yeah, pretty good. For the spring, it likes to do that. Like, yeah, good bag here. Luckily, it's not small spring. It's somewhat bigger, so watch for that. Anyway, here you have the internal battery. I already changed the battery out, and I was like, oh, I should have made a video of this. This would be a good beginning. It's kind of scary, starting out, but I like to help people. And if I can show them some possible way, don't throw away your stuff, spend some time, save some money. A $9.60 hedge trimmer is not a bad deal, especially when they go for about 100, 150, depending which one you want. Now they have 20 volts, and they have higher volts as well, but I figured I need one because I was using a little hedge trimmer, tiny thing, or doing it by hand. It'd take all day. So you can pull it out of the pack. Look at this little stainless steel inside of it. I guess that disperses the heat. Kind of neat how they just cut it. Someone hand cut it. Curious where they built these. So if you look, you could peel this little foam tape off insulation, and you can see the inside of the battery pack and see how it's wired. 2 wires on this side. Look at the other side. I try to save it and repaste it. It's still a little sticky, but not like it used to be. And then on this side, you have 3 wires. The one thing I noticed with this is wherever you see the nickel plate, you can't pull this apart because the plastic is underneath, and you have to unpin the nickel plates from one of the batteries of the 2 because the plastic goes through here right in the middle, and that stops the battery pack from being pulled apart. So if you can use a little screwdriver, get underneath the nickel plate from the old battery, and you could pop it right up off one side and do that for 3 of them, and then this will come apart. I already did it because I was not thinking about making a video, but my wife said, hey, you should make that. It'd be pretty interesting. Maybe it'll inspire somebody. I don't know. But I never seen the inside of it. You have a little circuit board here and all the connectors, and then you have a temperature gauge here. So when it senses too high of a temperature, fire, or something, I don't know, but it's going to shut it down before it gets bad, if it gets too hot. But the old batteries, they were like 0.5, under 1 volt. I could try to jumpstart them, bring them above 2 volts, but when I heard something about chemistry change, and once they get below a certain amount, some people say, yeah, you bring it back, but nah, I'm not going to mess around. I'll just get new ones, and I'll show you a link for the Samsung batteries. And remember, you can use AI or videos to, there's other videos out there that kind of guide you through, basic fundamentals, processes to change out batteries. But it was fun. I mean, I could do this all day. The little device I used to spot weld was this, the cease and desist power tool. Once you turn it on, it's pretty much automatic. You don't really have to change all the settings, but they do give you some options here. They do give you a power button, plus and minus, and then charger. Pretty simple stuff. I took it out of the box, watched a video on it. I could put a link for that video. He goes into details of the gears, and let me just put it on for you right here. Welcome. And as you can sort of see, it has a preheat 10 milliseconds, gear 63 milliseconds, and a delay of 1 second. Preheating, it's 10 milliseconds. The gear has 80 different levels. So you can make it automatic or manual. Right out of the box, it went automatic. And the preheating pulse output just left it at the 10 milliseconds. And then the delay for 1 second, so whenever you touch the metal, it'll spark. Nothing scary, but yeah, love this little machine. I thought, well, I'm going to get this spot welder because I know how to weld. I felt this is a new tool I can use in any future jobs I have. So I think it's a good product. I'll put a link on it, but it did what I wanted it to do. And if you could see on here, I did a crisscross weld. So each one I did 2 spot welds. So it was like a crisscross. And first time, boom, popped in there and welded up pretty good. I did have to solder onto the tabs. You shouldn't solder onto a battery. You don't want to heat a battery up. That's why they do spot welding. And I soldered to these tabs. And it was relatively easy with a regular hand solder gun. But easy stuff, easy stuff. So check the board for shorts just to see, capacitors are generally, from my experience, and I'm still learning, something that you should watch for with any device. But yeah, this was fun. I had a good time learning. Never did something like that. But I always say that almost anything in life you start, you learn. You have, it might be stressful, frustrating. Maybe this is not for you, but if you like electronics, you can learn something new. And if it works, oh, the satisfaction level.
Get in!
Some of my favorite YouTube channels I watch about electronics. When they get it, it's just the satisfaction out of it. So good stuff. Hopefully I'll show you some more examples of editing it, close-ups, pictures, because I didn't do it live. I wasn't even thinking, but now I was like, well, my wife says, yeah, this could be fun. And maybe people like it, and you can keep doing it, because I can fix a lot of stuff. I try to create, let me go back here. When I was little, we didn't have a lot of money, so put this back together. We had to survive. It was just my brother, sister, myself. And when they went to college, I was around by myself, but grandfather left some lead in a pipe, the propane torch. I learned early on, when pipes break in the winter in an old house, you have to survive, and you don't have money to be paying for a plumber. Nowadays, plumbers are very expensive, but always taking things apart. And in that situation, I had to learn how to solder, improvise with what I had to make it work. I think my dad was like that. My mom was creative. They met at art school, and I think that's where I get my creativity from. So yeah, I love fixing things. From early days, I used to take things apart, not be able to put them back together. That was always fun. And then yeah, maybe this video series will work out. I could do more. Maybe I'll buy some real stuff to work on, like real. I was using toner clippers to separate the wires. So, and that was fun. I mean, sometimes you have to improvise. You don't have a hammer, you use pliers or something, depending on the issue. But sometimes if you don't have the money, you don't have all the products. I had to buy the spot welder, of course. I could probably make my own spot welder. I was looking at it. I was like, make your own spot welder, probably be fun. But I figured $25, and we're good to go. So yeah, I hope you enjoy this. And if you want more, let me know. Be more glad to start ramping it up and do more professional things. But this is a fun first time. Yeah. You take care and keep learning.